One of the questions we get asked a lot is, do we have any licenses assigned, or can you reassign a license to somebody? How do I pull them into Business Central? How do I add the permissions? So in this video, we're going to kind of go over the high level of that. So the first thing we're going to look at is assigning a license. So in your environment, you can go to the waffle here and you can open up your admin center. From here, you're able to see a list of users. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. The user, I'm going under the assumption that the user already has an Office 365 account. They've already been created. So I'm just going to click here on active users. What I can then do is find the user that I want to assign a license to. I highlight their name, I come here to licenses and apps, and then I'm going to find the appropriate license that I want to assign. So depending on your environment, this could say Business Central for IW, which is the demo environment. It could say Premium, it could say Essential, it could say Team Member. So if you have any questions on licensing and when and how to use them, feel free to contact us. But again, you'll want to make sure that you're assigning the appropriate license. But here you're just going to select on that and then you're going to save your changes. Then you want to navigate back into Business Central. And the second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull that user into Business Central. Second step is going to be to populate the user in the user list, because you will not have the ability to be able to just click on new and manually create the user. So I'm going to navigate here to my user list. So this would be a list of any of the users that had been pulled into the environment. So I'm under process, going to go ahead and say update users from Office 365. So what this is going to do is it's going to go in and it's going to look at any of the new users that may have been assigned a license. This is just letting us know that it could take up to 72 hours after you assign the license. It's been my experience that it's always been pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and say next, and then I can go ahead and say finish. So now I can see that Cameron White has pulled in from my Office 365 user list. I can drill in, I can see them. We typically recommend that you put their contact email in so that if you're setting up things like notifications, emails, you can see that. They've got an active status. If you're deactivating or reassigning a license from a user who may have left the company or is no longer needing a license, you can take away their license in the user portal, and then on the user card, you can set their status as inactive. You can't delete the user card if there's history in the system, but you can set their status. Third thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to assign the appropriate permissions. So you have to, step one, assign the license. Step two, pull that user into Business Central. And then step three here, you'll notice down below that this user only has very basic permissions. So what you can then do is you can, using the permission sets that have been created, or maybe any custom ones that you have, you can go ahead and assign any of the user permissions that make sense for that specific user. You can obviously copy and paste from other users. You can set the company that they have access to. There can be a full series on just permissions alone, but if you've assigned the user, you've pulled them into 365 and you've given them permission, now at this point, that user can log into Business Central using their Office 365 username and password. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to us using the contact information or follow us on YouTube.